everyone. I want to wish you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi and I hope you all are doing well. Let me introduce myself. I am Omkar Shinde, your host for this particular interview. I want to welcome you all to the third episode of interview series brought to you by Industry Inspire Talk. Talking about interview series, it is a series where we invite people who have interned at companies and converted that internship opportunity into a full-time offer. Our guest for today's interview is Krishan Kumar. He interned with Dell in 2018 and after that he also got a pre-placement offer from them. He worked for Dell for over 2 years. So this whole interview is all going to be about his journey at Dell and about his projects and how did he crack the interview at Dell. The whole video is going to be interesting. Make sure to stick around. Hope that you learn something new out of it and it will help you in your specific career as well. So without wasting further time, let's proceed towards the interview. Hello, Krishan, and I want to welcome you to the third episode of interview series brought to you by Industry Inspire Talk. How are you feeling right now?
Hey, I'm feeling great, Omkar. How are you?
I'm doing good. And do you want to say something?
Sure. I'm Krishan. I've been working as a ST for about 2 years now. So my initial career started with Dell. I worked there for 2 years. Basically, if I include the internship, half year was internship, then 1.5 year I worked as a ST there. Now I've transitioned to Flipkart, so I'm working as a ST1 there.
So that is about what you do. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Sure. So basically, my interests speak around computers. Basically, everything about computers. So hardware is my the niche thing that I am interested in. I work extensively on computer, like let's say Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and all those single board computers. So other than that, I am quite interested in physical fitness. I do a lot of long distance running, and I play a lot of computer games as well.
That's great. And you mentioned in your bio that you graduated from Sikkim Manipal University. So tell me something about your college life.
At college, what there's a saying about college. Be it kaisa bhi ho, college nikal jata hai. So that those 4 years went quite fast, and my college was really good. It is situated near a valley, so the experience was really great living there, and the education was quite optimal. I would say there were some missing pieces, but again, the experience was all in all good.
That's great. And do you want to say something about what coding means to you and the importance of coding in your life?
Sure. For me, coding is nothing like I don't categorize it as something as a separate thing. I just generally link it to problem solving. So from my childhood, right, I was quite interested in solving puzzles. So any sort of puzzle you give me, I would be interested in solving. So coding is just a manifestation of that thing, and it's more on the machine side of the things where you tell your computer how to solve those puzzles, those problems. So it's a medium between you and the machine where you communicate. That's how you solve this thing, something like that. And one great thing about coding is it's crystal clear. It's not ambiguous. When we talk with each other, when we interact with the people in the world, there can be ambiguity. I'm saying something you might understand. Take it into 3 different ways, but with the machine, it's ubiquitous. That's the beauty of coding.
That's great. And in your college, you told me that you were part of some projects. So tell me something about your project in your engineering career. Where you helped the society or you helped the college. So tell me something about that.
Sure. So initially, there's a regret part there. So initial first 2 years of the college life, right, I didn't do any projects. I just so used to squander my time. So chilling, playing, multiple games and all those things. But in my third year, I took a couple of projects. I would say 3 projects. The first project that I took was a simple Android app. So that time it was sort of my problem. I wanted to solve this episode airing for this show and when it is going to air. So there was some paid application for that. So I created a simple application that will fetch the data from TVDB. You just say this is my show that I'm interested in, and it will give you the next air. So that was my first sort of project in college. That was mostly for personal use. Then the second project was sort of manifesting those hardware things. I created a simple obstacle avoiding robot using that Raspberry Pi and Arduino, both plugged together. So that was the second thing. And the third project that I did was the most extensive project I ever did in college life, till 3rd year, was in my 6th semester. Meanwhile, those interview drives were happening. That was basically automating your attendance process from end to end, from hardware till software. So that was the really good thing. And I even got an award for that thing, like one of the best
wow,
mini projects.
Congratulations, Krishan.
So that was I underestimated that project, and in the ending, like towards the deadline, I was working like 72 hours without sleep. So initially I was for the first project you underestimate a lot of complexities. So in that project, the attendance management project, I worked with Arduino, I worked with Raspberry Pi, and coding side of things I coded in C, I coded in Python. C for the hardware interfacing side of things, Python for automating things, and PHP for generating reports and something. If you want to communicate with your server and get live attendance reports and all, there the PHP was involved.
Okay, that's great. So that's all about your projects, what you've been doing in college. So you have worked on a lot of projects. You are passionate about coding. So tell me, what makes you passionate about taking computer science as a stream? So why do you feel yourself passionate about computer science?
Right. It goes like lot of way back. So in 2001 or 2, my dad brought home the first computer. It was a T3 with 128 MB RAM, that thing, and I maybe 20 GB hard drive or something like that. So what got me interested was initially the gaming side of it. Like, yeah, yes, my game, it is better than my Nintendo. The games were quite better than the Nintendo. So I got hooked up there. Couple of years I just gamed on that thing. After that, my dad has electrical engineering background. So he used to open up the computer and like fiddle with the motherboard, with the hard drives and all those things. So I looked into it. I figured out, yeah, it is really good. There's something going on inside as well. From there, my interest peaked. So after that, I used to assemble my own computers. I used to help my friends assembling PCs. Then I started reading into computer hardware extensively back in 6th grade, when I was in 6th grade. So that was quite a lot of things. I used to even dive into deep, let's say, electrical circuit board diagrams of those things which didn't make sense back then. Even right now, it's a bit, if you go for like in college, what do you study? 8086, right? I was referring to Core i3 diagrams back in 7th, 8th grades, and that didn't make any sense. So from that time I was like, yeah, मुझे इस चीज का sense बनाना. I want to make this, like, visualize it end to end, because at the end of the day, it's whatever code you write, right, is basically translating to some logic, and that logic is based on an electron, right? The flow of electron you're like controlling through transistors, and that is cascading to your executable logic. So that is quite fascinating. How you went from like writing a line of code that translates to electron flow. So that link, when you try to understand it, it's really beautiful, from the ISA level to the microarchitecture level, and even if you come a bit above the assembly level, and then maybe C and other high level. So for me, hardware was the peaking thing that got me into computer science. Post that, I took up software naturally in college. So that was it.
That's wonderful. And now I want to proceed to the main part of the video. So,
Sure.
How did you get that opportunity to work at Dell as a SD intern? So tell me something about that.
Sure. So basically, in my college, right, companies, I'm talking about 2017 interview time. So things might have changed right now. So that's a disclaimer there. So in 2017, I was in, I guess, 6th semester. So the company used to come for interview time. So the flagship company that used to come for us was Dell. So they used to offer SD room, basically. So I got my job opportunity from there. So the thing about the interview is, the one good thing about the interview was it was very quite well structured, and the people, it depends, right? If your interviewer is like helpful and that aura, like that aura is supportive, because in college, right, if you don't have any interview experience, you're quite scared. यार ये interview कैसे होगा? क्या बोलेगा? क्या हो जाएगा? क्या नहीं होगा? What will happen? So those things are in your mind, but those people were really, that energy and the vibes were really good. So it went really nice. And prior to that, one good thing was even in 6th semester, some companies come, they just offer you some chance for internships and all. So one such company was Exia that came in 6th semester. So I had one prior interview experience which I aced as well. So I had that internship opportunity, and I was quite confident I know how to give an interview, and I will be quite comfortable in that interview time. So that happened. So in August of 2017, Dell came for interview time, first or second week. So then the criteria, should I walk through the rounds that happened?
Yeah, so my next question is connected to that only. So how did you crack the interview, basically the internship opportunity? How did you get it? Can you tell me in detail about the rounds and everything? Yeah.
Sure. So the first criteria was the screening thing, and that is automated. Basically, college asked that, first of all, it was restricted to 2 departments. Basically, that I found a bit wrong. CSE and Triple or EC. That 3 departments are allowed to sit for the interview. That was the first criteria. Second criteria was your career's percentages throughout your career should be equivalent to 70%. Basically 70%, 10th, 12th, and your CGPA should be above 7.0. So that was the filtering thing. So after that filtering, naturally 100 odd people were allowed to sit for the aptitude. So aptitude was a digital thing where you sit in front of a computer and answer your technical questions. There were aptitude questions as well, computer science questions as well. So it was a mixed bag of 30-40 questions in 1 hour. So they took that for 100 people, and out of that they selected 30 people for the interview drive. So the next day the interview drive happened. So in interview drive there were 2 odd rounds. Basically first round was quite technical and quite long, because they didn't segregate they could have segregated into 3 rounds, but there were just 2. First was technical. It was a 1 hour interview. Where the format was something like the format used to vary. Basically, loosely the format was same, but it used to vary according to your CV. So what you put in your CV is quite important. You must be 100%. Yeah, I know this thing through and through. Then only put in your CV, and don't exaggerate things. Just be honest. So honesty is a quite good important thing as well. So interview goes something like this. Basically, they will screen your CV. They will see your interests, what you've done in your college. You should have like a couple of good projects and all, so that you can talk about them. And the format of the interview was like they will ask you one puzzle/coding question. And the second question would be around, let's say, theory as in DBMS would be there, object-oriented stuff would be there. That clubs and even OS stuff, some of the OS stuff. So that was like the format. One coding/puzzle question, the other question would be. So this went on for half an hour. So that was really a good experience, because I naturally like solving puzzles, and that was amazing. And post that half hour, they asked about in detail. They asked about your project that you have written on your CV. So at that time, I was just started with my project that I mentioned right in the earlier part of the video, attendance management. So I had it in my narrowed down how will I solve it and everything. But I was in the initial phase of that project. So I walked them through. If I will be doing this, this is the flow I will be taking, this is the hardware I will be using, and then I will be using these things. So they were like, okay, you have a clear picture of this thing. That's nice as well. So that was the second part of the interview. And post that third part was something like they will ask you if you have some doubts or some things that you would like to ask. So that thing I actually quite framed it before the interview. The only thing I extensively framed was that third part. So what I asked them was I gave them a product idea for them. Basically, I'm quite interested in hardware, so I was like, this is a nice thing. I will present them. So the thing was, basically you have a hybrid laptop or maybe a tablet that has both your traditional x86 CPU and an ARM CPU. It's something like the Surface, right? It detaches. The tablet part detaches. You can use it alone, and then the dock is also there. So if you club those 2 things, right, you can have it dual boot as an Android thing as well, and you can have it as your traditional x86 platform as well. That's the thing that I presented to them, and they were like, really. And even that Surface thing was coming up, it was quite incident. I don't know. I feel like I thought of it first, or Microsoft did, but again, that was similar time frame. So that I presented to them. अच्छे से I ऐसे हो सकता है. I presented the diagram. That was the 3 stages of those interview. So that was first interview that done and dusted. So after that, they upfront rejected some people in technical interview. Post that, they had a HR interview. HR interview was basically traditional because in college you don't have any prior company experience, so it goes quite straightforward. Just tell about yourself, you tell about your hobbies. They are trying to judge you as a person and all. They will put you in some conflicted situations as such. So those things. So the end goal of an HR interview in college is will you gel well with the company culture? Will you be a good fit for the company? And are you passionate enough? And how will you do in the corporate environment? So they try to judge you on those factors. So HR interview I felt was quite interactive and simple as such. So that was the second interview we had, and post that it was wrapped up, and in the evening they announced the results. So out of the 30 people, they selected I guess 8 people.
8 people were selected. So we were one of the 8.
So in this,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's inspiring basically. So and so that's amazing. And what I take away from this thing is one must be honest with all the skills which is dotting down on the CV, and also one must also he should also express his ideas and tell about what you have been doing apart from studies and what projects are you indulged in. So it's very important we should be indulged in extracurricular activities, work on projects, so that will increase our chances of getting selected. So that's what you mean, right?
Yeah, exactly. I would like to add a point there. In the technical interview, right, there was a SQL question, but quite complex SQL query. I upfront told them, I am maybe a B minus in SQL, not that fluent in SQL. They gladly accepted it, and the solution I gave, they accepted it. It was the upfront told, your skill is not that good. So yeah, honesty works, but the honesty must not be like, "भाई मुझे तो कुछ नहीं आता, ये मुझे नहीं आता, ये मैंने नहीं किया." This should not be there, because as a person, right? You even in college curriculum, so there will be some of your strong points, some of your weak points. So like capitalize on your strong points and try to fill in the gaps of your weak points. I'm not saying like ऐसे छोड़ दो. I couldn't have like yes, you have given me this complex SQL query and just upfront leave it. I wrote that query. It was not that optimized. There was no proper group by clause and everything, but that the query was there. So that is the thing I would extra like to add there. Yeah, honesty helps, and you should know your strength. You should self-evaluate other than your grade sheet. Right? In college, what used to matter? I have 8 CGPA, 9 CGPA, whatever. But you should be self-evaluating yourself as well. It might be happening that I might have a S grade or A grade in some subject, but I actually, in the practical sense of things, I might lack something. So that self-assessment, you should be act proactive with your self-assessment throughout college life, or even in your further career, right? You should know in college, like the grade sheet evaluates you, but in your corporate life, there will be no grade sheet. Like you have to self-evaluate. I'm weak in this thing, I'm strong in this thing, and I should work on that. So that is one thing extra I would like to add.
One must be willing to adapt to the industry knowledge, and like one must have that specific skill in order like for that specific job role. That's what you mean.
Right. You should have even if you don't have the skill, right? You should be willing to accept.
Yeah,
I will.
You should be willing to learn something.
Exactly. You should always be willing to learn something. So when we talk about my industry, like the work experience in Dell, I will walk you through like all the new things and all the things that I learned and all the challenges that I faced. Once we walk over to the internship part of the things.
Great. So now that you got the internship opportunity, so tell me something about the roles and responsibilities as an SD intern for Dell, and tell me also about the internship experience and where you were located. Like where did it place you? At which office?
So basically, yeah. So this will be a two-part answer I would like to say. So basically, upon your CV, right? They want to, like, the company wants to fit you in a proper role or proper team. So in my CV, I did a course. In my post my 6th semester, I was free, and even the course was basically on Microsoft development system, like basically around .NET and all those things, and C#. So in post 6th semester, I did that course, and I had a certification for that. So they placed me in a team where that would be of some use, because I had a certification. I knew C#, I knew .NET to a basic level, theoretical level. So they placed me in such team that I can use that knowledge. So that was the team selection part of things. Now the problem statement. Like company or the team that you're joining will have a predetermined, it is a really good experience if they have selected a track for you. Track as in, this is the problem you will be solving, and what is the end expectation. So when I went in first day, this is a formal introduction in some way. Post that, on second day, they gave me a presentation. Presentation is just single page slide that listed, or maybe 2-page slide that listed this is what you will be doing and what we expect as a benefit of that in real world. Not like this is just for theory or just for your game or something. This is where we will be using. So then post that presentation, like, oh no, I don't know anything of this. How will I do this, and how will things happen? But the good thing was my mentor. If he watches this video somewhere, cheers, Piyush. You were a really good mentor throughout my Dell stint. So we went from that was the problem statement. And the good thing was, first month of the internship, I didn't even work on that problem statement. First month was just ironing things out, because in my college experience, I have not worked on a proper object-oriented project with the proper structuring of the way the things are done in the industry. And that is the case with most of the graduates, right? You do function like normal functional or imperative coding in college. You try to solve data structure and all those problems. You try to write some Python programs here and there. You try to club things up. But the generic field of software engineering, where you follow some patterns, the way your code is supposed to be structured and all, you don't have a clue about that. So the first month went in that, like how to write object-oriented code, that it is understandable to you and the person who is reading the code. Because in college, the program you will be writing is basically spans over 200, 300 lines of code in a single or maybe 2 files. But there it will be 10, 20 files again. So amount of code you will be writing is quite much, and it should be structured properly so that you don't yourself get lost into it. So the first striking thing that I saw was people navigating your code better than you. As an intern, you write some, let's say 3,000-4,000 lines of code throughout your project. So I was having difficulty navigating through code, but the people there were navigating like it was their code. So I was like, at some point of time, I should be like this. I should be able to navigate other people's code like they're navigating my code. So that first month, plainly not interested linked to the project directly. So I gained some insight into how to write code, how to structure your code. That went like that way. So the second month basically was introduction, right? In college, you just write your code, you try to run it on your machine, on a laptop. It works on your laptop, then it works everywhere. But and that's just I guess 1/3 of the entire pipeline of code. So other two halves are, second half is testing. Testing we don't even do. So writing unit tests, writing integration tests, and all those things. Testing part came was the second part. And the last 1/3 would be like the deployment part, CI/CD part. Your code is in your machine, but it has to be running in some Linux VM or some Linux container on the cloud. So the 1/3 part, the last 1/3 part, I was quite interested. Like, yaar, ye kya hota hai? Cloud kya hota hai? I had the theoretical knowledge, but like how to deploy the code on servers, how to deploy the same code on the cloud and all. So that introduction was there in the second month. So in Dell we had a Cloud Foundry. Like there is wrapper Cloud Foundry. It's called Pivotal Cloud Foundry. That's a PaaS thing where you just host your application as a container. So internally it uses Kubernetes to deploy or set up the application. So I on the surface level I learned that. So second month went through that missing two pieces. The first being the testing part, the third being the CI/CD part. 2 months were wrapped up. Then third month we direct jumped to the project. Like I was ready to actually take up the problem statement. So the problem statement was basically I had to design a middleware that will track all your distributed REST APIs in servers or maybe on cloud. Like how many requests are coming in, how many of them are failing, what is the average response time, all those metrics sort of things, like the average response time, success rate, failure rate, what is the endpoint being hit or something like that. So if you have a bit of idea about REST, you will be more able to relate to it, like the performance metrics basically. So I will not go into that details, but that is the overall problem statement. First part. Then second part was like after you have captured all these data, you have to display it on a front end, a lightweight front end. You can use any framework that you know of. There's no restrictions as such. But I didn't have a front end experience, so I used plain HTML, CSS, JS to present that data. So this project that I did in my each semester was my first full stack project, I would say. So that was really nice. So again, first full stack project, first 2 months, they were not even related to the project. I jumped to the project in the later second half and wrapped it up in quite a nice way. So one key highlight of my experience was, I will tell you, was first I would go to office around 11 till 7. I would be struggling there. This is not happening. How is this supposed to happen? I used to dedicate my half to 1 hour post around 7 p.m. with my mentor. Like basically, I used to go to MDR. I tried this and this thing, but didn't work. So the thing I'm trying to highlight here is like you have to find like some one-on-one time with your mentor or someone like that, because they might not be free for you all the time. You cannot just, you have a problem, you run to them, because they have their day-to-day things. So what I suggest is do your thing, try your best throughout the day, gather your thoughts, gather your doubts, and just go clear them out with like all at once, maybe in a half-hour session or something, maybe in 1 or 2 days. That is the approach I took, because you cannot expect someone to come to you and tell you, "Bhai, ye tumhe problem aa raha hai kya?" You just tell me what are you facing now. So being proactive really helps there, because it's obvious. It's obvious you're working for the first time in the industry. You're working with those technologies for the first time. Because first framework that you work on in this front end or back end development will be quite hard, because again, first thing. So there, being proactive and asking for help in a structured manner helps. So you cannot just go and say just like college thing, you just give me a book, I will get the answer from there. You have to be proactive, you have to nicely articulate your doubts and just go and ask them out.
Yeah.
So that's great. About the overall gist of the experience. If you have further questions, I will be quite happy to answer them.
Yeah, so can you just tell me about where you were located and
Right at that part. Yeah. So basically there were 2 centers. So out of the 8 people that were selected, 2 were placed in Hyderabad. I was placed in Bangalore. So I did my internship in Bangalore itself. The office, Dell has multiple offices in Bangalore. I was located in Donggala office.
Okay, that's great. And how many hours a week did you work?
See, hours a week is a loose term. Basically, in the office, on an average, I used to maintain a nice cadence. It should not be like I'm waking up at 1 p.m. and I say, office mein and all. I used to maintain some sort of discipline there. I used to come at 11. By 11, I will be in the office, and by 7:30, I would leave. So that was my thing. And the later half of the day, like that I told you about, I would be sitting with my mentor, clearing the doubts out, and
Yeah.
that throughout the day I have faced.
You told me about your mentor and everything. So can you like brief the whole experience? Like how was the work culture at Dell and how did they welcome you as an intern? So some words about that.
Sure, the work culture in Delhi is really nice. There is a like very good work-life balance there, and responsibility as in is not forced upon you. You should be proactive and taking responsibility. One good thing in corporate that I found out is no one like tells you, like teacher telling you this is the assignment, your due date is this, and then like just do with it. But in corporate, right, the responsibility, there's a bare minimum expectation. Obviously, that is there for every job role. They're paying you for that. But above that, the sky is the limit. The amount of work you can do, the amount of things you can take up is limitless. There you can go and ask around, what work are you doing, what stack or what framework are you using, and how are you doing. So no one stops you from that. So that work culture wise, Dell is a really nice place for a fresher. So they even brief you about basically in corporate, right? You can, after starting as a software developer, there are multiple pathways that you can take. You can be a project manager. You can even strive to be like, you can carry forward in your domain, like software development itself. So they brief you about that. Your manager has a healthy discussion with you. Like initially, everyone has to go through that part, SD1, SD2. Post that, we figure out like the other, like if you're good in project management, you can jump to that. They empower you to do that. So work culture was a really good experience there.
They want you as an intern to learn something and adapt yourself into the industry. So they welcome you basically and they support you. Yeah. So that's great. The work culture at Dell. Yeah. So I've heard a lot about.
Basically, they're not trying to conform you into some particular thing. They will give you the whole breadth of things to grow into: project management, even software development, or even some other track or something. They give you that freedom.
That's interesting. And my next question is, what skills did you have which made you convert that internship opportunity into a full-time role?
Right. So skills again, I covered in that back. Like initially, you will be like unaware and clueless about the way you will be writing the code, the way that like the framework or the technology you will be using. It might happen. Just because I didn't have a good experience with full stack development prior in college. If you have a good experience in, I would suggest even whoever watching this video, like if you have a prior experience in full stack development, then it might be a bit easier. But again, adapting to those corporate and practices like how to write the code, how to deploy it, the third part of the thing, CI/CD part. Because as a full stack developer, you're supposed to know that this is my code, this is how it will be deployed, this is how it will be tested, and all those things. So that third part will still be new, but you can be more comfortable in the first initial development part if you're going through a full stack development practice or something.
Okay, that's great. And you also worked for Dell for 1.5 years. So can you brief me out about the experience in short, like what all projects did you work on and what roles and responsibilities did you have as a full-time software development engineer at Dell?
Right. So my internship project was loosely tracking the RESTful APIs and all, right? So you do some analytics and present that analytics on the UI. So my full-time role was mostly around what we call designing reusable libraries. Basically, the library you will design over some technology. Let's say for us, it was RabbitMQ. You design a library that abstracts the use of RabbitMQ. So for designing such library, first you must be able to use RabbitMQ without abstraction, right? I'm designing an abstraction so that it is easier for other developers to work on that thing. So first step in that process was going and like experiencing what is RabbitMQ. Basically, RabbitMQ is a messaging queue that you can relay your data from one application to another asynchronously. So that is some brief introduction about RabbitMQ. And after that initial stage of interacting with the RabbitMQ natively, we went ahead and wrote abstraction over that for subscriptions, for publishers. This might seem a bit vague if you are not experienced with these things, but we wrote a library that other developers were using to interact with some underlying technology. That was the first project. And the second project was again analytics based. So the project that I did in my internship, right, I took 4 months for that. Similar use case basis problems were there. Specific tracing frameworks, specific logging framework that I used to design. And that were powered by ELK stack, basically, Elasticsearch and all those things. So that were two of my core responsibilities as a SD1 in them. Post that, I got promoted, I guess, in 13-14 months. I jump to other areas where I was actually working on the business domain, as in the product domain of and pricing domain of Dell microservices. So there, and the other extra addition was post SD2 was, I would say, adoption of extreme programming practices. Basically, Dell follows that approach. So where you pair program as in you, me sitting together, I being like we rotate as in pairs. I code and you navigate, and like that keeps on cycling. You should read about it, like extreme programming practices. So pair programming is one, and the other one would be test-driven development. So test-driven development is a really different approach to this. It's like inverting the pyramid. What you do, like you write your code, you test it against some test cases. In test-driven development, you just invert the things. You first write your test cases. You clearly define key this and this is supposed to happen. These are my test cases. So that was my other thing that I took up as SD2 there. That was quite difficult, quite challenging. TDD. Yeah, if you have not tried it out yet, I should suggest people go and look what BDD is. So that was my extended roles and responsibilities there.
That's great. And one last question, and before that, I want to ask you that if you were given to describe your whole internship experience, your whole work experience at Dell in one word, what would it be?
It would be very extremely progressive and uplifting, I would say.
That's great.
Progressive
and yeah. So that's amazing, your journey. I'm listening to your journey. I'm very much thrilled, and I'm very much inspired by what you've been doing and how much you have progressed in your career from college life till now, till Dell, to working at Flipkart. So the last thing I want to ask, and then we'll wrap up with the interview, is some tips or advice you want to give to the aspirants who are looking to crack that SDU role at Dell. So what are some of the tips you want to give or advice?
Right. Yeah. So let's have these tips in sort of structured manner. It will be better to grab hold of. So while discussing my interview, I told the first point would be being honest on your resume. Don't put things and skills you are just like I worked with JavaScript for a day or two, then I put JavaScript in my resume. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That is really detrimental, because they will be if you're writing that on your resume, how will they judge? They will ask you some questions, and if they find out, like if you are lied on your resume, that's the biggest, the worst thing you can go through in an interview. So don't lie on your resume. And second thing would be highlight your strengths. Basically, it's things you are really good at. Put them at the top of your resume bluntly, and then anyone be confident in telling them, these are my strengths, and that will be really good. And be aware of your things that are not that much good at. And so if that comes up in an interview, you can frankly tell them these are my key strengths and these are my weak points, but I'm working on them. Just show them that you're working on them as well. So these three tips are on the resume side of things. So that will help you, through the interview. And other than that, interview is again, in all those interviews you will be facing DSA questions, like data structure algorithm questions. So just have a comfort level with DSA. Through my time in college, I was not that comfortable till second year with DSA. But I took some time out in third year. I did practice basics of data structure algorithms in plain C without using any sort of abstractions over them. So I was quite handy with the data structures and decent with the algorithms. So I was able to crack the interview questions that were structured around them. Basically, if you have first principles view, basically you should know what is the under the hood thing that is happening there. You will be quite comfortable in answering or at least approaching those questions. So that is on the DSA. Yeah, that is on the DSA side of things. So we have covered the interview, and then post the interview, right? Once you get that job, once you get that internship, basically. So the things that set you apart in internship to convert it to a full time is your grit. Basically, you must be gritty. It is 100% sure that you will be facing some challenges. You will be facing things that are new, but be very vigilant. But be very this thing I don't know. I will go ahead. I will learn it. I will solve it. Keep that attitude. Don't be oh shit. Yeah,
so one must have the desire to learn and to upskill themselves. So one must be motivated, one must be dedicated, and he must be honest in his interview, and he must be willing to learn and adapt himself to the industry. That is what you're talking about.
Right. So that's great. That grit, and that should be there. That grit should be there. This thing. That comes from, then again, motivation comes from, there are two ways of motivation. Extrinsic motivation, I tell you to go do this, that will be given to you by your support, the environment, your mentor will help you there. but there should be some intrinsic motivation. What is intrinsic motivation there? Like my intrinsic motivation was something like I love computers, I love computer hardware, I even love working with computers and all such things. So you should have your 2-3 key factors in your heart, like that drive you through the experience. You should be like I like होता है कि यार मुझे कुछ करना है, मुझे इस फील्ड में कुछ करना है, this is really nice, I love those things. That motivation should be there, and that could be structured, that could be varying for each and every person. I love computers for a reason, you might love computers coding for some other reason. So that, keep that as your north star, I would say. So that will keep guiding you. You will face, there will be days where you will be like, yeah, this didn't happen today, this was quite hard, I didn't understand it. But everyone has their good and bad days, but eventually we'll progress. Let's keep on going and don't lose heart.
That's great, and that's some great piece of advice, motivation, what you can say. And with this, I would like to conclude the interview, and I want to thank you. A big thanks to you for making your presence, coming up here and talking about your experiences and sharing your journey as an SD intern and the work you have been doing, the projects and everything. So it's really inspiring, and we are very grateful to have you here. And our audience who are watching us right now, they are also very much glad to hear your experiences, and it's really great. And thank you.
Yeah. And again, thanks a lot, Omkar, for giving me this opportunity. Even I find it quite useful. Like reaching, a lot of my juniors used to call me and ask me of these things. So again, having this documented and reaching to a wider audience is a quite satisfactory thing for me as well. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so it's really great to help people, and I want to ask you that, do you want to give some motivation, not in a technical way, but in general? Like Dell is one of the Fortune 500 companies, and you made it to Dell. So some motivation do you want to give?
Right. The motivation would be like, again, it's a simple statement.
It's apart from the interview. It's apart from the interview.
It's a generic life advice. Even if you have to walk like 100 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers, something like that, the journey begins with the first step. So right now, wherever you are, you might be like intermediate level in coding or something like that. First thing is taking that first step, assessing, and that first step is assessing yourself, like where you stand right now, what are your skills right now, and right now what is your current state, and then what is the state you want to achieve. Assess this, assess that, then track backwards. Like I want to be this in this frame of time, then keep working towards it. Like be consistent towards your effort and goals. Then eventually it will happen. For let's say for some person it happened in 1 month. For you it might happen in 2 months or 3 months. But eventually it will happen. So just be consistent, don't lose heart, and keep on moving. That's the finest advice that I can think of.
That's nice. That's some great piece of advice, and also a kind of motivation for the people who are watching the video. And if you're watching the video up till now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and also reach out to Krishan. I'll mention the links to his social handles in the description box below. So do check it out. Do reach out to him on LinkedIn, on Instagram. And with this, I would like to end the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Industry Inspire Talks with another person from the industry. Till then, keep learning, keep inspiring, keep growing. Thank you.